Okay, what's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a Friday edition of Morning Scone presented by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, Parish Construction and Roofing. If you need an orthopedics, go to Brock. You need a roof, you call Parish. Unique Physique, uniquephysique.com, Restored Motions, restoredmotions.com. Excuse me, an On Fire Athletes platform powered by GameCoin. Let's see. Okay, let's see, y'all. I'm realizing this shirt looks massive on me. I can no longer wear an XL. Like I've got to go put a smaller shirt on. All right, what a day, y'all. Draft round one in the books. Always surprises, twists, and turns. Jacksonville goes up to 2, gives up a boatload to take Travis Hunter, and the Saints take Kelvin Banks. So New Orleans gets an offensive lineman. Shocker. Second year in a row, first round pick goes to the offensive line. Now, 10 of the last 12 first round picks the Saints have made have been offensive or defensive linemen. They build from the inside out. So it definitely goes to show you who the decision makers are. And Alan Moore might not necessarily be it if the approach to the draft effectively stays the same. So anyway, I like Kelvin Banks. Listen, I told y'all from jump that there were 2 scenarios I would not be okay with. One would be drafting Ashton Genty with the top 10 pick, and 2 would be moving up from 9 to take a quarterback. And the reasons are, I think Genty's a very good player. Taking a running back in the top 10 is not going to make you better, and you're not going to be good while he's in his prime. You can get great running back value. You can get Travion Henderson. You can get Quinshon Judkins. There's great running backs throughout this draft where you can get better value. That's 1. 2, I was not okay with them moving up, just because look at the lion's share. Look at the wheelbarrow of picks and assets that Jacksonville had to give up to move up from 5 to 2. I'm just not okay giving up so many draft assets when you need to get younger and more affordable. So anyway, they took Kelvin Banks. If he was the best player on the board at the time, fine. Maybe he plays right tackle. Penning kicks into left guard. Maybe you have a competition there. Maybe he starts at left guard for you this year. I don't know. But as long as he's starting for you week 1, okay. Your line last year was a giant problem, and it was largely because of injuries, obviously. But and that's something you can't really control. But you have a guy that was a really good tackle, could probably play either side of the ball, and you probably got a day 1 starter. There's, like we talked about so much, the value in this draft, I think, is today, Friday. You have a 2nd round pick and 2 3rd round picks. What you do today, I think, defines this draft for the Saints. Sitting there at 40, is Tyler Shuck there? Do you take him at 40? Or do you get aggressive, try to move up? See what Cleveland's going to do. Does Cleveland take Shadur with their 2nd round pick, and then with all the draft capital they have from Jacksonville moving up, did they take Shadur and then you stand pat at 40 and take Tyler Shuck? I mean, maybe the patience in letting the draft comes to you works out in that situation if it plays out that way, which would be great. So, hang on 1 second. I'm sorry. Sorry, y'all. I know this isn't ideal. Um. Anyway, okay. So my apologies. So I think this is where day two. Maybe you get maybe if Shadur goes to Cleveland, and the Saints land Chuck at 40, really good. I think you'll have a great opportunity to get a receiver, big body receiver, maybe even Mason Taylor if he's available, tight end. Lots of value still there. I mean, it always happens this way. A guy like Will Johnson, who many have projected as the best cornerback in this draft, he's still available. I mean, what if he's sitting there at 40? Do you take Will Johnson, get the best cornerback in the draft when you need a cornerback? I just think today is the day that's really going to define the draft for New Orleans. And how about Will Campbell, y'all? Number 4 overall. Kind of, that's a lot of times. The a lot of times the odds makers know, and they've got it. Now the Jackson Dart thing with New Orleans obviously didn't happen, and I'm kind of glad it didn't. To be honest, I would have been fine doing what the Giants did, coming back into the 20s and taking Jackson Dart if you were bullish on him. But if you weren't and you stood pat or you couldn't make a deal, okay, I'm glad you did what you did and stayed at 9 and took the best player available. So, yeah, I think today's gonna be a great day. I I hope it's a great day for New Orleans. And they've got the potential for it to be a great day with the draft capital they have and who's still on the board. So we'll see how it goes. Okay, let's say some good mornings. I'm sorry, y'all. We just had a little. I keep texting. I'm sorry. There's a little like mini emergency at work, and I'm trying to move. I'm trying to shuffle chairs right now to get something covered today. So my apologies. It's a weird time. So Hester's at the draft. Hunt's driving home from the beach. I'm going to New Orleans. Taylor for Zurich. Taylor Sharp has to do my show at Zurich. Taylor's got a wedding. Musso's filling in for Hunt. Anyway, a lot of moving parts today. My apologies. Okay, let's get going. Caleb, morning, Matt. Do you think they move Penning inside with this move? Definitely had needs everywhere. Trenches is where it starts. Caleb, here's what I could see happening. I could see Banks playing guard this year and Penning playing right tackle. Remember, the Saints didn't pick up Penning's 5th-year option, so they could re-sign him after the season. So he could be gone, and maybe it's a thing where Banks becomes your right tackle next year with Wonga at left tackle. Keep in mind also that when you drafted Cesar Ruiz, he was a natural center, but you had Eric McCoy at center. So they moved Ruiz to guard where he stayed. It's not his ideal position. Center is his ideal position, but he's not been great, but he's been a starting caliber guard in the NFL. So it may not be something that we have finality with until next year. Hey, Leon, good morning. Thomas, good morning. Kelvin Banks, give me a nasty day 1 tackle. Yeah, Clayton, I'm good with that if he plays tackle, and maybe that's what's best for all. Move him to right tackle, move Penning to left guard. Hey, No Sweat Sports, good morning. Mo, typical Saints, glad I've been a Bengals fan for 5 years. You're going to have to explain to me, like, if someone's upset with what the Saints did, you're going to have to explain to me why. Like, you need everything. like who was on the board that you would have rather they take at 9? I mean, there was like again, it's a thing where you need everything. And so like you walk into the candy store, well, what do you want? Do you want chocolate covered strawberries? Do you want gummy bears? Do you want ice cream? Do you want Oreos? I don't know. It's what do you want? I mean, if they look at their board and they had Kelvin Banks as, let's say they had Kelvin Banks as the top offensive lineman in the draft, which they might have. I mean, it's the thing where I remember with Ramchick, that when in 2017 they didn't need a starting offensive lineman, and they remember they traded Brandon Cooks to New England, got the 32nd pick, and they used that on Ryan Ramchick, and they later came back and said they thought Ramchick was the best tackle in the draft, and so they took him because he was the best player available. And Zach Strief got hurt that year in training camp, and Ramchick became an All-Pro tackle. So I'm okay with taking the offensive lineman. Hey, Jerry G, good morning. John, good morning. How's you? He's good, man. Thank you for asking. Had the week off of schools. He and Eric are still sleeping right now. Hey, Charlie, good morning. Derek, morning, Matt. How do you feel about the Saints pick? Yeah, I'm okay with it. I'm not sure that that's the name I would have written on the card, but I'm okay with it. Hey, Christian, good morning. Listen to you from a roof on an inspection. Okay, man. Hey, if you need help with a roof, Parish Construction and Roofing. Oh, by the way, y'all, thank you, Jared. By the way, today we are drawing our $10,000 giveaway. It's not too late to enter, but today is the day that we're cutting off the deadline at 5:00. So 5:00 is the deadline to enter. Go to parishbuilt.com. Someone is winning $10,000 cash today, courtesy of Parish Construction and Roofing. Go to parishbuilt.com to enter. Hey, Rex, good morning. Taylor, morning, Matt. I know this is an exercise in futility. What else your players do you think will be drafted next year? Nussmeier, Aaron Anderson, Chris Hilton, Nick Anderson, Bauer Sharp, Barry and Brown. Maybe Xavier Thomas. I'm not sure. Braylon Moore, Josh Thompson. Stamps will be interesting if he comes out. Hope he doesn't. Harold Perkins, Whit Weeks. Oh, Jack Pyburn, Patrick Payton. LSU's going to set the draft record next year. Jamari Butler. They're going to set their draft record next year. I hadn't thought about it. That's interesting. LSU is going to set their draft record. So the record is 14 from the championship team in 2019, the 2020 draft. They had 14 players drafted, including 5 in the first round. They're going to break that next year. Hey, Kenneth, good morning. Like the pick? What's good, man? Great time always at Don Juan. We did have a good time, man. Sorry I got there a little late, man. But it was, coming in hot from Lafayette. But great crowd. Great crowd at Don Juan last night. So thanks to everybody who came, everybody who watched online. Really good show. We enjoyed always going there. Some person Saints need to trade up for Shedeur. Second chance, the mistake made last night. It just doesn't sound like they're bullish on Shedeur. So if they're not, then they're not going to pick him. Not at 2, not at 40, not trading up, or not at 9, not at 40. So it doesn't sound like that's their guy. Morning, Matt. What do you think the Saints will do in the second round? Yeah, my hope is, I think the best case is you're able to stay at 40 and get Tyler Shuck, if that's your guy. Like if Shedeur goes to Cleveland, then there isn't another team in front of you that would draft a quarterback. Now, you could always have somebody trade ahead of you. So I think it's one of those things where you got to be mindful of who might trade up ahead of you. But Do you stay at 40 and hope that player's there for you? Or do you get aggressive, move up, and get him? Why take the third best tackle instead of Michael or Jalen? So, by the way, I'm not sold on either of the Georgia edge rushers, Mo. And who's to say that the Saints had him as the third best tackle? Like maybe they had him as the best tackle on their board. Don't care what others say. I love it. Joseph, good morning. Thomas River stole the show last night. I didn't get there until late. So when I got there, Rivers moved off mic, so I didn't get to hear. I guess I can go back and listen to the beginning of it, but yeah, I didn't get to hear the first hour or so. Oh no. Oh God. Sorry, y'all. Mm. I may have to go, y'all. I'm sorry. Jerry, let's see. Rocky Morton apparently know it had insight to the Saints draft board. All the mocks are wrong. Actually, Rocky, there was someone who yesterday had a mock draft that had Kelvin Banks going 9 overall to the Saints. Ross Jackson at LouisianaSports.net, his final mock had Kelvin Banks number 9 to the Saints. He nailed it. And Ross was kind of telling us, like, had some intel on draft day, and it came through. So Ross had it, actually. So had tip Ross Jackson. Brett, morning. I'm okay with the Saints pick team making picks, draft starters, reset the roster. Chance, Shadur, Sanders drama keeps building. Which quarterback do you think Saints target tonight? I do think they'll target a quarterback. It does not sound like it'll be Shadur. I think it will most likely be Tyler Shuck. Again, I'm guessing, but I'm reading the tea leaves the same as we all are. So, thoughts on Shadur falling out of the first round? Yeah, man. I can't say I'm totally surprised by it because he was a very polarizing player. And if we talked about, like, if he got past the Saints at 9, the question really was Pittsburgh. And so Pittsburgh passed on a quarterback. And so you had to have someone come back into round 1 to take a quarterback. The Giants did it, and they picked Dart. So, I mean, I don't think it's a terrible surprise. We've seen things like that before. I mean, Geno Smith fell out of round 1 his draft. Malik Willis fell all the way to round 3. Remember when there was some talk about him being a top 10 pick? So I can't say I'm terribly surprised by anything that happens in the draft. We all do the best we can with whatever info the NFL reporters leak out there. But yeah. Okay. Let's see, y'all. I'm gonna have to bounce. I apologize. I know there's a bunch of questions I've been able to get to. Wait, hang on, Thomas. Let me not forget, Thomas. Hang on, I got you.
Parish Construction and Roofing. At Parish, we've got you covered. From the top of your roof all the way down. Parish Construction and Roofing. Parish Built. Parish Built. Parish Built. From your hometown. ParishBuilt.com.
Okay. Y'all have an awesome day. Locked in LSU's live. AFR from the Zurich Classic today at 3.